All right, Shane, next let's kick it down real quick to Athens, where Kirby Smart, we've they've got this epic showdown here with Clemson. Everybody's going to be watching that game Saturday night. Cannot wait. Nationally televised affair. So much expectations compounded with the Georgia Bulldogs this year. And Kirby Smart was asked this offseason, I believe it was on Marty McGee. I don't remember. I didn't actually hear these quotes, to be honest with you, Shane. But he said that he believes Georgia is going to win the national championship eventually. And he was asked about that here on Wednesday. Here's what Kirby had to say.
Yeah, staying on kind of the DBs theme here, Coach. Just looking at their wide receiver core. I mean, everybody talks about Justin Ross, but one thing that kind of pops out, you see a lot of 6'3", 205, 6'4", 6'5", 6'3". Anything specifically difficult about defending guys that size? And have you been I can't think of anybody you guys have gone up recently that were so big across the board, right? Not just one or two guys, but everybody seems to be in that demographic.
Yeah. I don't know if that's the right adjective, but that is definitely a strong group. They are big. They are physical. They do a very good job going up and getting the ball. They're really good 50-50 ball guys. We've seen a lot of them on tape. Justin obviously has been a great player for them for a long time, and now he's coming back. So I know they're excited to get him back. They are a matchup problem, but in some ways we're bigger at corner than we've ever been too. So we've got three guys that are 200 pounds rotating through there. We've had really fast and we've had really long guys, but uniquely the three or four guys we're playing now are all 200 pounders. Now their guys are 210, 220. So the thing that concerns you is 50-50 balls, blocking on the perimeter. That's critical. To be able to block on the perimeter. And if you don't go against guys that size, we put our guys up against tight ends to try to simulate what we think they'll see in a game because of the size of those guys. But getting on and off blocks is critical to every football game, but it's really critical to this game because we know the spread element, the perimeter screens, the ball out quick. You got to be able to tackle and you got to be able to get off blocks. And those big guys make that hard to do.
Kirby, you were asked by Marty and McGee on their TV show about what it would be like to win a national title at Georgia. You said it would be special and it's coming. It's a matter of time for our players. I know others, see it the same way, and obviously you nearly won it in 2017. Why do you feel it's coming?
Well, it has to be coming, right, Mark? If it's not coming, then what are we doing? So I don't look at it in perspective of when. I look at it in perspective of what's important now. What are we doing now? And I know the people in this organization. I know the administration. I know the people in the state. I know the people that love Georgia and the energy, enthusiasm they have. It's always long overdue, right? I don't care if you won one 3 years ago. It's overdue. Yeah. So for me, that's the end game. That's the goal. That's what you're always trying to work towards. It doesn't make it a successful season or failure if you don't. I just don't look at things that way. I don't let that control my thought process in my life. But I certainly pursue excellence, and that's what excellence is.
All right, Shane. So I just thought this was interesting because, we've been hearing for the last week or so about, this Clemson game's not the end all be all for us, and I'm hearing a lot of negativity this week.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but I guess maybe Georgia fans or media or whatever, they're just a little nervous about this matchup. But hell, I ain't nervous. I'm sticking with my Georgia pick. And I just thought it was great that Kirby's sitting here talking about winning the national championship during his time, because I know everybody wants to win this Clemson game, and they should. But what everybody down there in Athens really wants is that elusive national championship. And it's great to hear their coach is not backing away from those expectations. You know what?
Yeah, definitely. I get that, but let me ask you, Mike, if they don't compete for a national championship this year, is it a failure? Do you think so? I hate to say it. Because that's a lot of pressure, Mike. That's calling for a perfect season. Not necessarily winning the SEC. Here's the thing: you can't lose the SEC championship and Clemson, but I can think that you could get in there with one loss if you're the Georgia Bulldogs. So that being said, if they fall and they do not make it into the playoffs, wouldn't you consider that a failure? I think this is their year.
Well, I think as we sit here, it's easy to say that, and I would agree with you, but there's just so many variables. Like what if Hayes King down there in Texas A&M? What if he's, I don't want to put all this pressure on all these players, but what if he's the next Johnny Manziel? What if Max Johnson for LSU is the next Joe Burrow? What if Bryce Young is just as good as say Tua? There's so many variables. If we knew those answers, then I don't think you could say Georgia has to win it all this year. But I'm staying firm with my pick with the Bulldogs in the East and to win the SEC. So I totally understand that question. And on paper, there's no one that's more talented than the Georgia Bulldogs, and they have the easier path to Atlanta being in the East. I know this opener is a difficult game, but hell, maybe if there are weaknesses on the roster, they learn about it week one. That'll be an advantage of playing someone as good as Clemson, to where you have the rest of the season to work on any deficiencies you have. So, that should be the expectation. It should be. I know it's such a weird dynamic because they've not won the national championship in so long, but they have all the pieces to win a national championship, and that needs to be the annual goal down there in Georgia. And coming up short, man, I did a 180 here. Yes, it's a disappointment if they need to be there. Particularly if they lose multiple games, I think it'll be a total failure given this roster they have.
Right. Yeah, I'm with you, but I think they got to have this game. I think this creates the storyline. This creates that narrative that Kirby's trying to sell here, that they are national contenders. Mm-hmm. You don't worry about teams like Clemson. You just don't. Now Vegas, they got Clemson favored right now, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
Yeah, so that they have no faith in the Georgia Bulldogs, but I'm telling you, man, I'm looking at this roster and I don't see holes. I see problem areas, but I can see that being corrected easily by the coaching and the talent that they got around him. So I don't know. I think there's way more question marks coming with Clemson than there is with Georgia. And I think on a national stage, first game of the season, there's no reason that they can't create the tone for the SEC and just show the whole country how dominant this conference is.